Hi, hello, welcome, Doodle Crew friends, and happy St. Patrick's Day! We are back. Doodle Crew is back. Drink and Draw is back. So we're coming at you. Yeah, we're gonna draw some, but this one is fun. This time we are getting suggestions from the chat to give us our prompts for drawing. So it is all going to be from the chat. So we'll see what we draw and we'll see how the drawings progress as the alcohol progresses. So let's go around. Let's introduce, say who you are, where people can find you, and what you're drinking. So Kia, we'll start with you.
Hey, so I'm Kia, or Kia Creations, pretty much across all social media, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, all that great stuff. And today I am drinking sangria, screw top, because we're fancy. And then if I finish this, which hopefully we don't get that sloshed, I'll move on to some mead that I have. So, yeah, fruit before honey, I guess.
Yes.
Cheers.
All right. And Laura, also on the mead train.
I am on the mead train. I am LauraCharles.art on pretty much everything, although frankly, I'm not on there very much right now. So, but if you need to reach me, I still check my messages. And I am also drinking mead in my green glass. I hear that it's like, I don't know, it's like a vintage kind of green glass that glows in the dark, and I'm pretty sure you shouldn't eat it because I think it's toxic.
Like all good things.
Yes, I mean, I suppose you shouldn't eat any glass at all, but and I am drinking Earl Estates mead.
Excellent. I don't know where that is from.
Local place.
Oh, nice.
Where's the winery you work at again?
I'm on Seneca Lake.
West side or east side?
East side.
East side. So west side is Earl Estates. So
okay.
They do like a cider, and they can have fruit wine too. But,
that's fun. I give Seneca, and I promise not to go into this too in depth because I could wax poetic for a while, but I give Seneca Lake a lot of credit because there is an incredible diversity to the wine and the beer and the hard alcohol, like hard liquor and mead and everything. Like there's a ton of stuff on that lake, and it's pretty much got something for everybody. So it's very fun.
They even started doing some decent red wine, which I didn't think would ever happen. So
interesting. Okay. All right. And Joey, hello again.
Hi, hello. Twice in 1 week. How lucky are these folks?
You survived the cursed stream.
Luckily, I had something to drink. But yes, it's me, Joey. You can find me everywhere at Slooty Mage. I play games and draw on the internet. Sometimes I do streams. Mostly you can find me at Hunter's channel, though, at Voice of Hunter, where we play League of Legends.
Hey, that guy.
Today, I am drinking a single malt Irish whiskey. Lafro, hey. If there's somebody Irish here and can tell me how to pronounce this properly, it's good. I got it as a gift.
It's probably like rough, and that's how you say it.
Honestly, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because I love, like, you know, it's spelled like Sioban, but it's pronounced Siobhan. Like, letters don't mean anything. I love it.
And it's like,
this is my first.
But you pronounce it really short.
Yeah.
My first post-surgery drink and draw. So this little glass right here is probably going to knock me out. But we'll see how it goes. I'm ready to dig into some prompts here and make some fun art.
Yeah, that's why they got to get to us early, because as it gets later in the stream, the art is not going to be as good. Or it will. I don't know. It'll just be different. Let's say that. It'll be different.
Mine gets better.
My feelings about my art gets better. Yeah.
It goes from being like Rembrandt to Pollock. Just like, it's art, still art. It's just a different genre of art. That's all.
It gets a little more subjective, I think. So yeah, I'm Swan. I'm a Swan named Emily across the internet. I'm not drinking out of the glass of my winery, but I am drinking a Wagner Vineyards semi-dry Riesling. So I am drinking from the place that I work because I actually really like their stuff, which is awesome. So yeah, I love me some Riesling. I was in the mood. The semi-dry is nice. It's got just a little touch of sweetness, so it's not overpowering, but still beautiful Riesling taste. If you want to hear more of me talk about wine, hit me up because I work there and I talk about wine a lot. Also, if you want to see more of the Doodle Crew at any point, follow us across the internet at Doodle Crew Draw. If you want to see more of the artists that are here today or any of the other artists we've had on the show, head to our link tree. All of the information is there. So as we are collecting prompts and getting ready, I am going to throw out one. I had it here. I have to click all through my stuff.
I'm nervous. Look at her.
Yes, the random prompt. I do also have a prompt generator.
Ooh.
So there is that option too. But I'm going to highlight it actually. So coming from Voice of Hunter, pick 2 words from this list and combine them as a prompt. Cat, cell phone, zoos, narwhal, space, linguini, crypto, wine, barbarian, super, towley, little head. So there are our prompt words. I'm going to leave them up for a little bit. So pick any 2 and combine them. I like it. Now I got a brain.
Harder than I thought.
All right.
What is Towley? Is that a thing that I should know?
Well, let's ask the internet.
Oh, right. That's a thing.
Oh, well, there's a character from South Park named Towley.
Oh, maybe that's who it is.
Yeah, I think that's the Towley because
Okay.
it's capitalized. So that's the only Towley I know of.
Yes, he's purple. Oh, he looks sad. And
Probably
stoned.
just a little high.
Oh, flower is also there. Interesting. All right. Okay, I think I have an idea. I'm going to leave these up for a little bit just because I know I need to refer back to them.
I mean,
Question.
I feel like there's an obvious one here. So
I love that.
although we'll see what everyone else's obvious one is.
Yes. What is your question, Kia?
Do we have are we doing like a time limit or anything?
We can. I was gonna say because this is our first one, we're getting warmed up. We'll see how we feel. If a bunch more come in and we want to get through, we can do that. What I would also say to anybody in chat, send in your prompts. If an artist gets done sooner, I can also throw those up so we can pick from that. If some artists want to do some and not others, that's also an option. So it's kind of, there's a drinking aspect to this, so there's a relaxation aspect to it.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna have to speed run.
No, I at least for me, I know I'm not in the mood to speed run, so.
I'm never.
So I can add color is what that comes down to.
Okay. Also, thank you, Hunter. We appreciate you.
What story did you start? There will come soft rains.
Why did you mention that?
Oh,
In what context?
He said he started a short story today, and I know I said he should do that once. So
It's such a sad story, but
it
good.
is.
It's a good story. Or graphic novel, right? It's a graphic novel?
It was originally a short story by Richard Bradbury, but then they adapted it.
Okay. I think the graphic novel is the only... I didn't realize it was a short story first, but that's very cool. You're not rotating?
Oh, dang. Nice. Like a fancy YouTube premiere.
Wow, he really is in the big time. My goodness. Here, I'm going to highlight that so everyone else can see what we're talking about. That's exciting. Hunter, I'm excited for you. This is fun. Also, seriously, Laura, kudos, because you're just going right in with paint, and you have my complete admiration.
Dark colored paint too.
Yeah.
I am. I've got a bunch of these like little cheapo canvases. You know, you get like a 10-pack for $5 or something at Michael's, and I'm kind of trying to like loosen up and just not be afraid to use them because they're cheap panels and I shouldn't give a shit. That's why I bought them in the first place, was so that I could do things.
Isn't that funny though? I feel like because so many art supplies are so expensive that you're just like, well, I can't use this unless I have a thing for it because then I won't have it anymore.
Yeah, I just get so, I don't know, like I really want to take like, I don't know, I take way too much time on things, so I'm kind of glad that I'm gonna get a little drunk with you guys and do some things I don't, not too precious about. It's good for my creative soul.
Heck yeah. Also, to be fair, I think the things that you create are also gorgeous, so they are worth the time you put in.
I've been trying really hard to get not quite so tight in my rendering. And that's hard.
It really is. And I'll have those moments where I'm like, okay, I'm going to start loose. It's going to be good. I'm going to get there. And then I'll notice myself like hunched over, like working into the most minute details and something. I'm like, well, that did not last long.
And you have like a death grip on your pen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can feel the tension all up my shoulder. And I'm like, gee, I wonder why my arm hurts. So weird.
Why am I?
For me, clenching my jaw.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And especially lately, just with like all the projects I've been doing, I constantly have to remind myself, like, no, there's no reason you need to be gritting your teeth so bad. You're not angry at this project.
Where are you? You're like, deep down inside, I really am angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I am very excited about this next prompt. So I'm going to throw it out to you all now while you're working so you can start noodling it. So the next prompt is super fun because I know it comes from, I'm not going to necessarily say she's one of our viewers, but she's definitely one of our younger enthusiasts. So we have a suggestion for a heavy metal / heavy rock Disney. So I always think of all of the heavy metal covers of Disney songs, which I personally love. So yeah, you can put that out into the think space.
I don't think I knew that there were heavy metal covers for Disney songs.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So referenced in the prompt specifically, there's a fantastic band called Our Last Night, and they are covering, I think, multiple songs, but at least Louisa's song from Encanto. Yeah.
The like opening one, I'm assuming, or the one where she's talking about the sad song.
The Pressure song.
Pressure. That's my favorite.
Under Pressure.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. But honestly, I am a ridiculous sucker for any heavy metal cover, especially of like pop songs. I love it. I love it so much. I live for them. So I'm very excited. I have an idea for this one, but I might have to pull up some reference. Surface Pressure. Yes. Thank you, Vineyard Warrior. Also, I did not say it specifically. Vineyard Warrior throughout this suggestion on behalf of his little one.
Yeah, I feel like that song came on and the children uniformly stood up and said, I relate to this. I mean, I did too, and I'm not a child, but...
I'm a child at heart.
I am an old person at heart.
I always said that about my sister. She has been a very old soul since she was like 6. So
Overrated.
okay. So I was looking back through the last time we did prompts from the chat, and I did decide to color, and I don't think it made my art better. So I think this time I'm going to stay away from color and just maybe do some nicer line art. Oh, excellent. Voice of Hunter also threw out another one for us. So if you get done with something and you are ready for a new one, just holler at me and I will tell you some of the other ones that we've got. And since I've done enough shows with Joey, I know this is not a competition. So take as much time as you need.
You're making me think if I should question, is it a competition?
So I give Joey an incredible amount of credit. Between him and Jeff, who is another artist on Doodle Crew, they are some of the fastest artists I've ever been at convention with, and it can be incredibly intimidating until you learn to just laugh at it, and then it's a lot of fun. I would also throw in Joe Holly in that.
Oh yeah, Holly can bang some stuff out.
And it's all in his style too. Like he has a very unique, very specific style, and he manages to adapt any character to that, and it's impressive. So, yeah. Shout out to our art friends. We know a lot of really cool art people, and that's awesome.
Steve Ellis's birthday was just the other day.
Aw.
I don't know which one, but I saw it. I saw it pop up on my timeline. Oh, happy birthday, Pal. Palo. We've been trying to collab with Steve, actually, and get him to do a Call of Cthulhu stream with us.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. Yeah, but I feel like trying to like nail him down and get him to do that is like trying to catch smoke. So kudos to you for the effort. I appreciate it. So for those of you who don't know, Steve is a local artist to us. He's in a town a little ways away from us, but I would say many people know him. He's done a lot of incredible paintings for Magic cards. He also, him and his writing partner, David Gallagher, produced the Only Living Boy and now Only Living Girl series of graphic novels, which are fantastic. So he's an incredibly talented artist and the most high energy human I think I've ever met. So
that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah, he is so much great positivity. He loves art so much. He is also an instructor and he loves his students, and it is good energy to be around. Oh, Hunter, that's a really good. So one of the channel points I have that you can redeem on my channel is hydrate. And on a normal night, it would mean that Emily should drink some water. But Hunter is not wrong that, on a night like this, hydrate might mean that we just drink. I like it. I like where your head's at.
I'm all right with that.
I think that your judgment is questionable.
Well, he just redeemed one, so I'm going to drink.
Questionable judgment.
I do think that it's fun, though, so I will also drink. Okay.
I enjoy that, at least for the meantime, that this is the closest that I've gotten to actual Comic-Con post-show drink and draw, and it makes me very happy because I miss that. Right?
Nostalgic now. I just want to be like in a cafeteria with like a bunch of people drawing weird things on.
And laughing because we're all so tired.
Ballpoint pens.
Yep. Yep, permanent markers on slippery, glossy paper. Yes. So y'all, if you've never had a chance to, at least for our local shows, it was usually kind of a fun, like, fan thing. But many shows do it where there is a drink and draw element, where there'll be a meetup after the show at a bar or something, and you'll just kind of get to drink and talk with the artists, and you draw on coasters, and it's very chill, it's very silly, but it's just fun. It's a fun event. I love it. Sergeant Snoodles shouted out Barbarian Banana Hammock, which is not a sentence I thought I would ever say. Hebe Buffet says, Christmas time is here. And Voice of Hunter says, I love that 2 of you picked Narwhal and 2 of you picked Barbarian. Yes. I enjoyed that too. Also, I enjoyed the position on the screen where that happened. So there's a lot of fun happening here. I dig it.
Kick Hebe out of the chat for that. Sorry, Hebe. You're not welcome here anymore. Like an orphan in the snow. Just.
Also, Hebe, I want you to see that on the most recent episode that is now up on my YouTube, there is a star next to the title for content warning. And it's because of you.
These dogs. Hang on.
I can hear their little claw, their little feetsies.
Cat problems. My one cat is outside, and he was sort of looking in the window, which usually means he wants to come inside. But I opened the door, and he kind of looked at me, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to push this because I have things to do, and you're going to be a real pain. So,
is this the really independent one or the really dumb one?
The really independent one, who actually, did I tell you that he now has only 5 teeth?
Oh, no.
So I don't know if you guys have ever tried to brush a cat's teeth, but suffice to say, I do not brush my cat's teeth. They're unpleasant about it and abusive, and I don't know why I put up with it. But he's 10, so he had to go in and get like an actual tooth cleaning. And before that, they had to do a little, lookaroo before they dived right in and put him under. And they're like, so we're probably gonna have to take some teeth out. We're not sure how many. And I was like, okay. And they're like, by the way, it looks like he already lost some teeth. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, and so he came out, and they're like, so he has 5 teeth left. And I'm like,
oh my gosh, poor baby.
Oh my god. He seems much happier though.
Oh, well, that's good at least.
Yeah, he's very happy, and they're all like the pointy ones, so he's totally fine with it because he can still bite things and generally be a jerk.
I mean, really, I feel like that's the cat's ultimate goal, so you didn't deprive him of that.
No. I mean, if he would just sit still and let me brush his teeth, this kind of thing wouldn't happen. Not all cats are terrible about it. I had cats in high school that they liked the toothpaste, so like they were okay with it.
That's funny. I'm now having this moment where I've never tried, but also I'm like, I don't think I want to try and brush my cat's teeth. As much as I love her, I don't think that's a thing I want to do with her.
How old is your cat?
I think at this point she's probably, I think this is the year she'll turn 5. I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's till they're older that it starts to become a problem. And also, at the recommendation of everyone I've ever talked to about cats, I've been feeding my cats wet cat food because it's supposed to be better for like their kidneys or whatever urinary thing.
Okay.
That is always a huge problem. But conversely, that means that they're not getting their teeth brushed with kibble.
Right. Gotcha.
So I think that's part of why his teeth were so bad. But anyway, and his name is Toothless, so I feel like it was kind of...
It's kind of kismet.
So that was completely
It
by
was meant to-
accident.
It was
that
meant
his
to
name was
be.
Toothless.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, it was just by coincidence that his name was Toothless before he
Yeah.
lost all of his teeth.
Well, he's black with these giant green eyes and kind of scary looking. So
Makes sense.
yeah, so he looked like the dragon, and I got him around the time that I was really obsessing over the movie. So I'm like,
those movies
I can't have
are
a dragon,
so
but
good.
I can have you.
No, How to Train Your Dragon had no reason to be as good as it was, and it just knocked it out of the park consistently. I rewatched the second one a couple months ago. I knew what happened. I was still sitting on my couch sobbing.
Yeah, I definitely was
Yeah.
crying. My niece is 6 and she just discovered it. Not just discovered. She's been watching like the spin-offs for a while, but she had never seen the original film. So I brought it with me when I went to visit, and we watched it together like 3 times. She came over and she whispered in my ear, and she's like, "Don't tell anyone, but I have a crush on Hiccup and Toothless, but you can't tell anyone." And then she like ran away from me, and I was like,
"Oh
my god,
that's the cutest thing."
So we bonded.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. But yeah, so I named my cat Toothless, and then had to have all his teeth taken out.
As the prophecy foretold.
Yeah.
Also, what up, Kurt? Hello. Also, I enjoy Sergeant Snoodles says adds cat toothbrush to Amazon cart.
Yes. If you can get your cat to do it, I highly recommend it, because it was also extremely expensive. It was over $1,000.
Oh my goodness.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So.
It's a good thing we love them so much. It's jeepers.
Yeah. They're lucky. And I keep telling them that, and they still complain. Never have the right kind of food.
Okay. All right. I have an idea for this. I pulled up a reference image, but I don't want to show the reference image just yet, but I will at one point, because I have a very specific band that I'm pulling from. So I finished my first one, just to do a little show and tell. I did the 2 words that I picked were cell phone and barbarian. So my little buddy is having a hard time, and he's using a flip phone.
Buddy.
Like, it's just his fingers are too big for that little phone. So, all right. So now I am switching over to heavy metal Disney.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see if I can draw.
I need a bigger brush.
We're gonna need a bigger brush.
I understood that reference. I don't always.
No. I'm so impressed, because in her pursuit of pop culture and completionism, I don't know if that's the right word, my sister has gone back and watched like all of Magnum PI. I think she watched all of the original Jump Street. Like, she's gone back, and I think they watched MASH. Like, she's gone back and watched a lot of cultural touchstones in the past. So she's learning some of these things where I'm just like, I flat out just missed them. And now I'm very much Andy from Parks and Rec, where I'm like, I don't understand it, and now I'm too afraid to ask. Like, I know the reference enough to skate by in casual conversation, but if anyone were to put me on the spot, I'd be like, no, I've actually never seen that. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I used to watch MASH with my parents.
I vaguely remember it being on, but I don't know that I've ever actually watched any of it. And a shout out to anybody new in the chat. One, thank you for joining us. And two, if you have any prompts that you would like to see the artist draw, throw them into chat. I am collecting them. And yeah, we'll throw them out to the artists as we finish stuff and see what we come up with. Also, if you are a fan of this channel and have collected some channel points, you can redeem the hydrate channel point function to get us to drink.
Use respectfully.
Oh my gosh, the audio work on your glass clinking is my favorite. Like the ice moving around in it is perfect. I love it so much. Yes, RLB in chat said all of them were good in relation to the How to Train Your Dragon. I definitely, after watching the second movie, I went down a rabbit hole of all of the How to Train Your Dragon media and trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, I've watched some of these, but I missed some of these. Some of them aren't streaming in the place that I think they should be because it's DreamWorks and not Disney. So like, I was genuinely trying to figure out what I had watched and what was still out there and what order I was supposed to do it in. But yeah, they've made an insane amount of content for that, and kudos to them.
One of my favorite things from the How to Train Your Dragon like media was the stage play where they took the Walking with Dinosaurs, the giant animatronics that they used for the realistic looking and like life-size realistic walk cycles. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Walking with Dinosaurs like stage thing, but then they took those exact same animatronics and setup and everything, and they put it to How to Train Your Dragon. In the Walking with Dinosaurs, they have a pterodactyl flying scene. So, of course, they just translate that straight to an actor sitting on Toothless doing a flying scene. It was very good. Oh, it was very good.
That is really cool.
That was definitely one of the best, like, in terms of the franchise. Because it's new. It's not just sitting on your couch. Like, you're in there. You feel the wind. You, like, see it. And those animatronics are so well done.
That's awesome.
I don't think it's going on anymore. Like, I think that is completely over, but it's a shame.
Yeah. Well, that's one where, okay, to Reddit and deep dive on YouTube I go to see who illegally recorded it so I can watch it now.
That's true. Yeah. When I saw it, it was up in Albany, New York.
Oh, cool.
No idea where I'm going with this. Trying to get better with my palette knife, and it is extremely hard. I'm like,
yeah, Bob Ross makes it look really easy. He's like, I'm just going to go in here with this palette knife. I'm like, but how, Bob? Tell me how. I don't understand.
It's unfair. You're just throwing this at us, Bob.
Yeah. Although, oh my gosh. So I know I mentioned it a little bit. So I am moving, and I've been painting the new house that I'm moving into. And every time I go to wash out the paintbrush that I've been cutting in with, and I wash it out in the sink, and I smack it against the side of the sink, all I can think of is you got to beat the devil out of it. And it makes me laugh every time. Every time. Because that's what Bob told me to do. Got to beat the devil out of it. Oh, Voice of Hunter, hydrate yourself again. You got it, buddy.
it's on fire.
Unconventional maracas.
Yes. So I'm going to do a quick recap. Also, Hebe Buffet so kindly said, my goal is to get you demonetized. Thank you. Thank you, my love. You're so sweet. So we had the original set of words, which I'm going to pull up again, which is what some people are still working on. So that is these lovely words here. And then we have the one that I am switching to, and I think Joey might be switching to as well.
Yep.
We are working on heavy metal, heavy rock Disney, which is super fun. Hunter then put in another group of words. So we have parade, ein, Pepsi, Die Hard, ice cream, theater, Lego, alien, and concert. And then the wonderful Sergeant Snoodles, Schnoodles, I'm sorry, I'm not getting the esh sound in there as much, says unconventional maracas, which perplexes me, but it's in there and it's getting noodled around, so there might
I
be
can
something.
get it. Like, you know, hold cats by their tail and shake them around so they make noise. Like,
Ooh, like the cat piano.
And I was never allowed at Petco again.
Do you have any maracas? No, this is a pet store.
ma'am, this is PetSmart.
like, you just don't think you have maracas. Let me show you.
You like break into the grooming area. Yes.
Sometimes they have kittens to adopt there.
Oh.
I mean, you'd be gentle. You'd like hold them gently in your hands and just go like that.
Oh, I love that so much of the start of this stream, or at least parts of the stream, has been talking about all of the pets that we all own, and many of which are cats. So it's said with love.
Right.
Oh,
It
I
is
can't
a
seem
very-
to branch out much further than that right now.
Oh,
Like, we
but
talked about cats once. I'm going to fixate on that.
no, it's so cute though.
Apparently, I'm not able to spell today. And it has nothing to do with drinking. Just the awkward place I decided to put my keyboard. Okay. So it's a very, very rough concept, but this was mine for the first prompt. This is Narwhal Space Wine.
Oh, I love it. When you put the galaxy in, I was just like, yes. Also,
Oh my
that
god, that
narwhal
galaxy
is adorable.
amazing.
I love it.
Narwhal Space Wine. And I really liked the idea of unconventional maracas.
Ooh, okay.
So what were they? They were unconventional maracas. I see there's new prompts, the new words.
Yes, new words. New words are... They are parade, ein, Pepsi, Die Hard, ice cream, theater, Lego, alien, and concert.
Okay, immediately like Die Hard, but with Ein the dog.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't draw that. That's too hard.
He's just in the
I've drawn
vent,
a corgi before.
just panting in the vent.
Right.
I was gonna ask, is he John McClane or is he
Oh
Hans
no,
Gruber?
he's John McClane.
I assumed, but I want to make sure.
Well, in my version of Die Hard, Ein replaces John McClane. But
I
I'm
would
sure
watch.
that he could be a very flexible actor. That
Oh yeah, he's got range. He absolutely has range.
Theater, Lego. Hmm.
I'm living for that studded choker, Joey.
It's a classic.
It is.
It's a classic metal staple.
No, I won't do that. I was gonna do ice cubes in a wine glass as unconventional maracas, but I feel if I make everything too wine glass themed.
You just become the wine glass person.
Yeah, I'm becoming like a wino, like one of those wine moms.
Hey, that sells.
It does. We
There's
sell
a
so
market.
much. We sell so much shit to wine moms.
Really? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
that seems obvious, but since I don't really encounter any in the wild, I don't have much knowledge or experience.
Some of my very best friends are wine moms.
And after meeting their children, I understand why.
Oh, I get it now.
I was watching. I was helping with my sister's kids very briefly over the weekend while we were visiting, and I mean, it was like 30 minutes, and I came in and I drank like 3 glasses of wine. I was like, I don't even know how you're not drunk all the time.
and you do this sober all the time, is what you're telling me. I don't understand.
Thank God they thought that was funny. So.
Oh, good, they're laughing. Oh, phew.
Oh, good. They thought I was kidding.
Ah.
I love my. I don't know. I have 2 nieces and a nephew, and I know that there's a word called nibblings for that, and I feel weird every time I use it.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Right?
What is it?
No.
Nibblings.
Niblonians.
But then if I don't say that, then I have to say my nieces and nephew, and it takes so long, and I'm so lazy.
I was. Is it
Oh,
your,
so
Very conflicted.
is your
niece,
sister?
nephew.
Sorry,
No, go ahead.
it's your sister.
Yeah, my sister's kids.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably what I'd say. My sister's kids, because that's a few short syllables, and that gets the point across.
Oh, that does sound a lot better, actually.
What were you gonna say, Kristen?
Oh, just nibblings is for nieces and nephews specifically, or is it just for like any kid?
It's for nieces and nephews specifically. So you don't have to say the entire sentence if you're too lazy.
Yeah,
me.
but I feel like it
Never
made it
heard of
worse.
that before. Huh.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I
So
don't
this
blame you.
is
No
this
one
has
on
got to
my
be
corset.
an ice corset, right?
Depends. Tell me
Elsa?
more. Are you seriously drawing Elsa?
Yeah.
So am I. Oh my gosh, I love that out of all of Disney, we're both like, Elsa. Elsa is heavy metal. Oh
I always
my
want to
God.
do
Very
like
angry.
this dark, like barbaric Elsa, like trudging across a winter landscape with like the shattered remains of Anna tied on a backpack.
I mean, now I want to see that, but also I love the way that you've drawn what you've drawn. Oh my gosh. That's really
Feels
funny.
appropriate.
Voice of Hunter makes an excellent point. She is the most heavy metal. It's true. And Sergeant Schnoodles wants bad things for us. Says, drink every time you accidentally match prompts. It's going to be a very short stream. Be a limited amount of art that you get from us tonight.
Been a very interesting trip to the ER in that.
Oh god. Oh no.
Yeah.
You're like, what
We
happened?
were, doing drawings.
I was drawing. They're like, what? I'm like, well, it was a thing. It's a theme. Like we have this group.
You have to be there. Yeah, you had to be there.
Yeah.
They made me do it.
It's like the new dares, like peer pressure to drawing is the kids' new like peer pressure out.
I've been desperately wishing that I kept some of my old Dare t-shirts just to wear.
Oh my gosh.
Now.
It's like not a thing anymore, right?
What?
It is not.
No, because it was terrible and didn't work.
Yeah, it has been rebranded. It has a new name, which sober me might have remembered, but current me does not. I will highly, highly recommend, though, and this is a shameless plug. There's a podcast that I love called You're Wrong About, and they did a whole episode on Dare, and they break down the specifics of its effectiveness and all of the details surrounding it, and it was fascinating. So I recommend that one. It was a good listen.
I listened to that podcast, but I haven't heard that episode. That's great
Yeah.
advice. I will have to listen to that.
Oh, I love it so much. I enjoy it immensely. So I was literally trying to draw like ice spikes the other day, and I realized that I have not practiced them enough to be good at them. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Draw ice spikes again. Mm-hmm. 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 Gonna do it while I'm drunk? Yep. Mm-hmm.
How you get better? Do it while you're drunk.
Yes, if I could accomplish all of my practice while I was drunk so that when I sober up, I'm like, hey, I'm really good at this now. That's cool.
Never didn't have it.
Or else you wake up and you found something like, when did I learn how to accurately do 3-point perspective? I don't remember that.
I can only do it when I'm drunk? Oh, no.
You just attain the abilities.
Okay, I'm gonna call this done.
I like it.
Did a little.
Narwhal, buddy. No, that turned out awesome.
Some kind of space liquid.
Okay, well now I'm curious. What's your next one? What are you feeling?
Oh, I've been ignoring all the prompts, so I have to go through them.
That's fair.
I've been focusing really hard on my little space narwhal. Very attention demanding. Though I do like heavy metal Disney.
Yeah, that has danger of taking over the whole stream. I'm gonna be honest.
We could always
I
bring
will
it
be
back.
the one resistor, the outlier.
Oh, that choices. Yeah.
Also, thank you, chat, for your fantastic suggestions. We super appreciate it.
Oh, I'm out.
Oh no.
There we go. I feel better now.
I feel better. It looks like I might have, yep, got a little bit of oil paint on my pretty glass.
Oh no.
And that's how people die. Oh. But not for another 30 years, so it's okay.
But that escalated.
This mead cake tastes like lead.
Oh no.
Heavy metal Disney. I'm feeling contaminated now because all I can think about is Elsa. Let me look at the other ones.
Join us. One of us. One of us.
We all just end up drawing Elsa for Disney. And we really get demonetized.
Oh gosh, I know. We're just gunning for it tonight.
On the other hand, Disney owns like everything now, so I could do like.
It's very difficult to stay away from it, honestly. What up, Simkin? Hello, welcome.
Oh my gosh, I have so many windows open. trying to learn how to draw a corgi, trying to learn how to draw a vent. Just
Oh, hey, you know what also I haven't done? Saved.
Hey.
is that a drink too? Like we have to drink when we don't say?
Oh no, that's not gonna help me remember.
Looks like I don't have that problem.
Control S.
The real Talshi, absolutely still taking prompts. We have an interesting list, but I think we reserve the right to pick and choose as we feel. And once again, as we get drunk, our memories get worse. So, we might forget.
Do prompts twice. Who knows?
And Joey and I are just going to keep drawing the same thing the rest of the night, I think is.
Mm-hmm. Seems that way, yeah.
My problem with Disney is there's just too many options.
Please.
Okay. I feel bad. I don't know if she actually looks like Elsa without the color. That's the only problem. I said I wasn't going to do color because I drew her in my style.
God dang it, Ein. Okay, so I'm looking up corgis, and corgis have a very specific patterning to their fur, and apparently Ein doesn't have that patterning.
Oh.
So it's like,
Really?
oh, he's missing the vertical stripe down the nose.
Is he really?
Well, from the photo I'm looking at, corgis have a stripe from their forehead down to their nose and then across their chin. He doesn't have that. He just has one stripe on his actual muzzle, which I can't tell if it's a lighting or an actual stripe.
Ah.
And it's like, I was counting on that stripe to show
what you were.
You're supposed to be a corgi.
What are you doing?
Also, apparently the stripe is only on one side of his nose. What?
Well, sure.
No, really, it is. Really?
Gosh,
Are you even a corgi, Ein?
He was genetically engineered, right?
He was, yes.
He's a special
yeah.
doggo.
He is a special doggo. He is the most special doggo.
Well, my symmetry tool's not going to help me there.
Okay, I'm going to pull in. I am going to add a little color to this one because apparently I can't be stopped. But I'm going to put up so you all can see the image I used as reference because it was just too good. If I can find it, because I too have many things open. Okay. Oh, well, of course it does. Why wouldn't you import it? I didn't really want to import. Let me. Okay. Nope. It just won't let me. Okay. Well, I'll do it like this then. There we go. Oh, that's cool. Fun fact, it now duplicates both of my screens. So that's exciting. Learn something
Florence
new.
has already affected me. I'm just going to do a heavy metal Elsa because I am...
Yeah,
I hope you wanted Elsa when you made this prompt.
What?
Yeah.
So I hope they wanted Elsa when they made this prompt.
Yeah, Vineyard Warrior. Hopefully, your little girl is happy with Elsa. So this is the photo reference I was using. So this is the lead singer of Diamante. But I loved the pose that she was doing because it looked like she was literally casting spell. So that's my Elsa reference.
I feel like now I need to also do Elsa, and this has to be a thing of the prompt.
Join
One of us.
Which is going to be interesting because I don't know much about heavy metal other than what Agretzko's taught me.
Oh, I mean, honestly, that's really pretty accurate. They do a good job.
What if you turn it on its head and you make Anna, but she's just jealous of Elsa's metal, so she's doing her bathroom metal.
Or she's the groupie or
Oh.
the manager.
She's the Agretzko of this scenario.
She's literally the Agretzko of this. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I love it so much. Ooh, we also have, which I think I'm sorry, Hunter. I think I might jump to Tal's suggestion because Tal says an alien plant that naturally grows to form a shelter for large animals, a literal house plant. Because y'all, I am such a sucker for puns. I love it so much. So I think that's gonna be my next one once I buff in some color on this lovely lady here. And that kind of looks like a hand. That's close enough. It's close enough for right now, is what it is. Oh my gosh. Voice of Hunter, which I'm not even going to pretend or try to do this in any sort of voice acting because that is not a skill I have, says, "Welcome to the puppy party, pal." And I like that. That's a fun sentence. Thank you for letting me say that. Oh, I love this. So Tal, she says, prompt, an alien plant that naturally grows to form a shelter for large animals. Prompt, my D&D character. Prompt, necromancy Elsa. And Sergeant Schnoodle says that puppy is already breaking my heart 1,000%.
Oh my gosh. I feel bad for designer dogs in general, but there's an exception in my heart for corgis.
100%. I love them.
I like to watch the videos of them going downstairs.
I will say flat out, there's really not many corgi videos you can send me that I'm not going to be happy about. So
that is fair.
Was it last prompt someone showed us? Was it a corgi that like fainted?
Rusty the narcoleptic wiener dog?
Thank you.
My all-time favorite video on YouTube.
What?
I knew something about that, but I didn't remember the correct wording.
Yeah. So we can play it after we end stream. It is Rusty the narcoleptic wiener dog, and it is one of my all-time favorites. I love it so much.
Okay, I didn't make that up. It wasn't some weird fever dream.
You did not. No, that was a legit thing that I brought to us.
You could tell though that how one would not be sure.
That's fair. No, that's like, was this a thing we talked about, or did I? No, I don't remember.
What do dog paws look like? I don't even know.
Yes, Talshi says, if you breed any other breed with a corgi, you get a corgi-shaped version of that breed. Again, I know it's bad, but selfishly, I really do love it. I love the visual of it.
They're the only dogs that I would break my no purebred in general. Not, I don't know. I feel like not all purebreds are as bad as others as far as like health of the dog.
Yes.
But, on principle, I prefer shelter dogs when I can get them.
Yeah. Well, and I feel for, pugs, which we have just bred into bad lives for them. And I love them. They're wonderful. And they're always so sweet and gentle and great. And it breaks my heart because you can hear them having trouble breathing. And
you can hear them slowly dying, and it's very hard.
Yeah. I'm going to highlight this because, Kristen, I feel like you need to hear this. Voice of Hunter says, "Holy shit, he has a lighter. I love it."
Wow, how else would you know it's John McClane and not just like some pug in a vent? I'm going to make it like a cute lighter, but,
Spike's down in the parking garage in the swordfish. Popping the music.
Oh my gosh.
My dog should have been back 5 hours ago. Where is he? I feel like that's something Spike would say.
I feel like Jet then has to be the police officer who's like trying to talk him through it. And he's just like, this stupid dog. Oh,
it actually fits really well.
It does. I love it. Oh my goodness.
And then, of course, who would Ed be?
See, I was trying to think that, like, I guess wouldn't Ed be his wife? Because
Holly.
doesn't she sass Hans Gruber and like
Yeah.
give him crap? So just like actively going against the person who is trying to shoot you and control you.
I feel like that makes sense.
I don't know if
Let's
any of the
combine-
villains from Cowboy Bebop really fit as Hans Gruber, though. Maybe.
Hmm.
I never really had like I needs a rival.
Yeah. Definitely not an animal one. Like, because you had the creepy, like, rat family where there was the rat mom and then all the rat boys, but they were dumb.
Oh yeah, the little sea rat things.
Yeah.
Really...
I started rewatching it recently and I had moments where I'm like, this is bonkers. Like, I was totally game for it and I still am, but this is bonkers. Okay. All right. Whew. I think Heavy Metal Elsa. She at least now kind of looks like Elsa. So.
Okay, what do corgi tails look like? I know their butts are like lopes.
They're bobtails.
Yeah, they cut him off.
Oh, voice of Hunter, John McCanine.
I'm gonna name it that.
Oh,
That's the name of my layer.
it's so good.
I do have little bobtails. I was gonna give him like a little weird foxtail.
Once again, I will refer everyone to the episode where we did draw from memory, and the the final verdict being none of us remember what characters or things look like, which I kind of
Nope.
love, and I was happy that I was not alone in that.
Me too.
Yeah, but yours were adorable, and I loved them so much.
Oh, no, thank you. I think I was at a particular disadvantage because I actually was not like I watched some Hanna-Barbera stuff, but it wasn't the stuff that we were talking about. None of it was things that I had watched
Yeah.
like regularly.
Okay.
So like I knew they existed from like an animation, history class kind of thing, and I'd sort of seen them around, but
there's a weird thing with, and it kind of in my brain it ties into why I would always be worried if I became like a police sketch artist or something like that, because in the gaps in my memory, my imagination will fill in. So I'm like, okay, am I actually remembering this, or am I filling in the gaps of what I would create in my head, and it's not as accurate, and it's a whole thing.
It's like your own personal mandala effect.
Exactly. Okay. Large animals.
what kind of large animal are you gonna pick?
I have not gotten that far yet.
Oh.
I'm having this moment where I'm like, am I really drawing a building and a plant? Two things that I never draw and I'm not good at? I guess so. So we'll see.
The decisions we make when we're drinking.
Yeah.
I feel like every single time we bring up that we're drinking, we have to drink. Them's the rules.
Yeah. Yeah, Voice of Hunter, are you surprised at any of the decisions that Joey is making? Because I'm not. This all seems very on point for this. Also, that ice looks fantastic. So I simultaneously hate you and am appreciative of your amazing art.
And now I'm on to font.
All right, apparently, I have to look you up specifically because not a real corgi. You do have socks. Okay, good. I was gonna say, you better have socks because socks make everything instantly cuter.
They really do.
Because they have to have something that real corgis have.
Real corgis have socks too? Good.
I think so.
I'm
I
happy
think so.
for them.
Yeah, that ice wing looks so cool. So Joey, I gotta ask, what
Yeah.
what flavor of heavy metal is your Elsa?
So I'm thinking it's black metal, and I'm gonna do like an album cover deal. That's why I'm over here on looking up fonts.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool one.
How about your tail? You got a boring tail line.
Yeah, it's more, it's just like a butt.
I love when people, though, compare corgi butts to loaves of bread.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing. Like they have those pictures, and like every other one is a corgi, and every other one is a loaf of bread. And I just love, because they'll do the same thing where it's like, oh, is it a blueberry muffin or is it a chihuahua? Like, I don't know if anyone's seen those, but those
I
are good
have.
ones too.
I enjoy them so much. They're so silly, but they spark joy.
I have not seen that. No, I'm gonna have to go look it up.
Okay.
I just see the ones where it's like herds of corgis.
The ones on the beach where they
Running.
have the corgi meetup days. Oh.
Just like all of them. Like some of them, they're just rolling through a park, or they're like at a beach, and I'm just like, I could do that.
That is a life I could live. Okay.
Corgis are cool, but the one animal that I look up, the one dog I look up the most is huskies. I love how dramatic huskies
Oh my
are.
gosh.
They're
The
such
amount of
little drama llamas, and
like,
I love them for it.
facial expressions that you get from them. I'm like, how is that possible?
I was obsessed with huskies growing up. I was convinced I was gonna have one when I like became a real adult.
I would get one if I didn't absolutely hate the cold and every single form of it. Like it would just not be okay for the dog, to live with me because it would just be way too hot. But I love them so much.
I can dream.
I would get one, but they're very high maintenance dogs.
Yeah.
A lot of shedding.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
only
well,
ever had high maintenance dogs. Like I've always had collies, but we always had working dogs because farm.
Yep.
So the high maintenance doesn't bother me. Like I feel like it's mainly that I can't keep it cold enough for the comfort of the corgi or the husky. Sorry.
Ace Tigress, I'm going to say happy St. Patrick's Day to you and not try and pronounce that thing that you put into chat, but thank you so much. All I remember from St. Patrick's Day in Pittsburgh when I was there for college is walking my butt past piles of green puke while I had to go to class. So,
People passed out in the gutter at like 7 a.m.
Yep. We see you, Pittsburgh, PA. We see you.
That was a memory I didn't really need to recall.
Yep, because I was walking across the Smithfield Street Bridge at that point, and that was a long bridge. There was a lot. Okay. All right, Tal. I had a plan for this. I don't know if I'm succeeding, but we're trying.
There it is. There's my
Oh, Beyond the Frozen Wasteland.
get my
Joey!
dumb face out of here.
Oh,
Move this.
It's so good.
Can I get me out of here? I don't think I can. I don't think I have it set up for that.
Can you slide your canvas over?
Yeah.
Ah, there you are. Oh, okay, hang on. I gotta highlight this because look at this. Look at how fun this is. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love it. I would buy the shit out of that album.
That is a great choice.
Oh, well done. That is so cool. Haha. It's so cool. Right. I'm going to get more drink. I'm I'll see myself out. Ah. Be right back.
All right. Be gone. Be gone, Elsa. Your time is done.
Whoa,
That was a good pop.
that was a good pop.
It's an ASMR stream now.
ASMR, yeah.
All right, let's see. I certainly believe that Pittsburgh has the highest population of Irish Americans, having lived there through multiple St. Patrick's Days. They love their St. Patty's Day down there.
Is that some fact someone threw out in the chat?
Yeah. Ace Tigress. I gotta scroll up here and find the prompts again. Unless somebody wants to put a new one in and save me scrolling.
You done? Can I have my hand back? I have a cat currently begging for attention off screen. So my hand is just petting while the other hand is trying to draw. You know how it goes.
I do.
Tiny hands, big evil.
I mean, I think that's just my daily motto, but I.
Okay. Wrong brush.
I need to get some ice. Clank. BRB.
Elsa, come on.
I know, if only.
Oh, now I have hair in my face.
Yep.
All right. Just gonna finish up the thing and then I can be done with this one too. Good. And then I still don't know if I was gonna do an Elsa one, what I would do, because I'm just not familiar enough with the heavy metal scene.
I mean, you could go full like baby metal, which is Korean, I'm pretty sure, where they dress in like Lolita dresses and they're little adorable Korean girls that then heavy metal scream.
I sort of know, at least know what that is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know hardly anything about heavy metal except, you know, black leather and spikes. So mine's going to be very stereotype. Sorry.
That's okay. It kind of is for a reason. So, also, I have to say, I have gone to many heavy metal concerts, and the couple of times I've ever been close to the pit, which is not where I want to be because I am small and I wear glasses, they are the most kind and respectful humans. Like, the people that I interact with at metal shows are wonderful, and it is a great community, and everybody's there just to have a good time. And I'm sure that there are nasty people because that's the world, but it just, I love it. I love it. And for a place that looks very scary, I have not ever felt so safe. So
I've heard that a lot,
it's a good
actually.
crowd.
yeah. So, Telshi is throwing you a fantastic idea, which I love, or a literal quote unquote heavy metal Elsa with minerals, basically
Oh.
Bender Elsa, which I love. So,
Basically a what, Elsa?
metal bender. Sorry, so much wine.
Ooh. Well, yeah, just throw out the hard one there.
So I feel like Magneto Elsa.
Gotcha.
Okay, Tal. I think mine is going to be more of a shelter rather than a house. So I became adjacent to the prompt. I hope that's okay.
Oh, I like it.
I just really wanted to draw really big leaves.
Oh,
But it's got a little smokestack. Oh, Ace Tigers, do they metal bend in Legend of Korra? I will admit I am shamefully behind and have not watched much of it because why consume media when I could just lay on my couch in existential dread about all the things I need to do?
Metal
Classic.
bending's actually a pretty big part of it because
Reasons?
reasons, yeah. Well, I was gonna say because Toph invents metal
Invents
bending
it,
and then she
yeah.
starts teaching it.
Oh, that's so cool.
So she has like a whole group of people, including her descendants, doing metal bending.
Bonds.
Leads to the Industrial Revolution.
Yep.
Dun dun dun. Oh, I forgot whiskers. But I did put Totoro underneath here, so I hope that's
I thought that was Totoro.
Yeah,
I
I don't
know.
know. Giant Leaf just said Totoro to me.
Definitely.
Oh, I love it. Tal, I love it. Thank you.
Oh, that line was not a line at all.
Kia, that looks so good. I love him so much. Like, I need him as a sticker. That
I think I'm gonna call
anybody
it here
else,
for this one too.
It's so good.
So
Oh
that's
my
my what was it? Canine something.
Oh yeah, John McCanine.
God.
I gotta find it. Yeah, John McCanine. Courtesy of Voice of Hunter.
John McCanine, that's what it's called. Forever in Legacy.
Yes, so this came from. Oh gosh, I'm never gonna be able to find it now. Yes, this was the second set of prompts that Voice of Hunter sent in to us, and it had Ein and Die Hard. So good. So good. Yippee yip yay, Mother Munchers!
I love that. I love that.
Oh,
That's a good one. I was worried about doing this one, and you know what? I'm glad I did. So thank you for the prompt.
yeah, it turned out fantastic. Oh, I love it.
All right. So what do we have? What do we got next?
Oh, you've got options. We have the unconventional maracas. We have the whole second. Oh, I guess you tackled the second list of.
I just see skin tight crop top. What's that from? Oh, right. I was supposed to do a heavy metal Elsa because.
Yes, with however you choose to interpret that.
See, heavy metal, like literally bending metal, but then I think like, oh, she has heavy metal poisoning. So she's just like losing her hair and she has spotty skin.
Oh, she's like a radium girl. Aww.
Aw.
I'm sorry.
Like a melted jaw. We shouldn't laugh.
Oh
It was a serious condition. Real people.
Yeah, that was a real thing. It's really terrible. I'm making light
Stop
of it now.
laughing.
But I know.
Don't.
I
lick radium
recommend
brushes.
being made aware of that, but don't look it up now because it's intense.
It's a real downer.
Gosh darn it, Voice of Hunter. Another hydrate yourself. I mean,
Oh.
I'm here to serve. Yeah. Oh, Sergeant Schnoodles, my goodness. Another hydrate yourself. Okay. I'm not taking
Wait,
huge
really?
steps.
Two?
Bleh.
Yeah, they would
And
they were
out.
painting the clock faces and anything to get a glow on it, and they would lick their brushes. Wow.
Brushes.
Lick their brushes to get a very fine point, and yeah, it caused a lot of damage.
Careful
Yeah.
with all those
I wanna draw
hydrations.
that
It looks
zombie
like
Elsa.
she's about to go
Keep
down.
giving me Elsa prompts, Vineyard Warrior.
Okay.
I've already got the reference open. Like,
See, the problem with doing the metal bending is you have to look up the stances because all the martial arts that they did in Avatar are based off of different
Styles
like,
of martial arts.
different styles of martial arts. So, oh my god, I don't want people coming at me.
do you have a particular flavor zombie in mind?
Also, I got a message from Vineyard Warrior that said he wants a print of your Elsa for the girl who supplied the prompt, which is his daughter Julia.
Yeah,
This is metal bending, by the way.
Maybe
If you
maybe
Google
that'll
metal
make
bending,
that one of the new prompts of the season, new prints of the season.
I love it. I honestly, I would buy it. I haven't had a heavy metal band poster up in my room in so long. Like, it's time. It's time to bring it back, Joey.
Gender bent Elsa with skin tight crop top. Oh, but it wasn't. No, that was for you, Joey. That was specifically targeted.
It
for you. I'm
is.
not gonna
So now I've got
steal
two
your-
Elsas on the stack.
God damn it!
Okay.
I mean,
skin tight crop top Elsa though. That's
Kristen,
the
you can
jam.
steal. You can steal.
Yeah, just do it. Take it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still here at Zombie Elsa. So.
Oh, zombie and necromancer Elsa. Ooh,
All
this
right.
is amazing. I love it. I love where this has gone. It makes me so happy. Also, Laura, I want to shout out. I love the colors that you've used for the skin tone on her. Like, it's giving me full on Ice Queen vibes, and I dig it.
Thank you. I was feeling like it was kind of purple at first, and then it seems to be growing into itself. So
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with it for now.
Yeah, no, I really like it.
And I feel like metal is adjacent to goth, so
Yes.
you get lots of pasty people in there. People who don't like the sun. I don't know how like prevalent white paste makeup is in the metal scene. Is that not
Depends on
thing?
the
I was just
show.
gonna say it depends on which flavor of metal you're in.
Got it.
Because I would say like Scandinavian and death metal have a lot of white face paint, but it is not a prerequisite to get into it. I'm just here drawing my happy little tree.
happy little tree.
Happy little trees.
Did anyone watch that Bob Ross thing? That was like, I think on Netflix, is it?
I have it queued. I haven't watched it yet because I've heard while it is incredibly informative, it is also a little sad. So I need to be in the right headspace for it.
Right.
But I hear I heard it was very well done. But
How
I heard
gross
something
do we
about it.
want this Elsa?
What was that?
Chat.
I'm
Chat,
asking the chat. How gross do we want this zombie Elsa?
I'm gonna actually be right back.
Because Joey can do gross. He has it in him. So if you want,
Max gross. All right.
tell she says Max gross in caps. Aw, thank you, Talshi. Looks like the plant closes like a clam and opens up when it's raining. Yes, I like an interactive plant. It felt very. Oh, you know what it is? I realized the reference in my brain that I'm pulling from, and it's the big leaf umbrella that you get in Animal Crossing. That's what I was feeling, and I'm also kind of combining it with the tree that was in the the Sailor Moon movie, which I'm going to wait and pin that topic until Kristen gets back because she can give me more specifics. Also, you got the go ahead from Vineyard Warrior. Go gross. So.
All right.
It's like you asked for it.
And I'm getting the idea of like kind of like Terry Pratchett where everything's on the back of a giant sea turtle. Like it just kind of has like its own floating island that also has water and waterfalls dripping down around it. Like it's its own little planet somehow.
I want to go there.
It looks so calm.
Sorry, cat things. I'm back.
Okay, so I have a specific thing for you. Part of my reference is, and I can only speak to the dubbed version because I'm a plebe and that's what I watched, but the Anne and Alan and their tree from Sailor Moon, that was another reference. But I couldn't remember which
Called
movie.
the Doom Tree.
The Doom Tree. Thank you. I knew you would know.
Which actually, for a filler arc, was a pretty good season.
I loved it
in
so
my humble opinion.
I enjoyed it so much. Yeah. Nope, that one got me. I had feels in that.
Apparently, without doing a deep dive, I don't know if metal bending has a specific form. So you know what?
It's, you know, it's Earth. It's an extension of Earth.
Yeah, we're just gonna go for a generic like Earth pose.
I like it. I support it. I also realized that I was spending so much time kind of trying to figure out this prompt that I did not in any way think about any of the other prompts that I would do after that. So I'm going to have to reset my brain. Also, hey, let's save. Let's do that.
That you got to drink though.
Okay.
Save and drink.
You're saving your art, but you're not saving your brain cells.
Nope. Okay. Oh goodness. All right. Back to the chat I go.
All right, so I'm doing a bust. Where's the bite that turned her?
Ooh, this is Elsa, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be on her hands because her hands are magic?
That's what I was thinking. It had to be hands because if she's going to go up to like protect, it's going to be with her hands.
So I got to get a hand in here. Is what you're saying.
That's how much we love you, Joey. Hey, you know what this drawing needs?
Just be
more
like a
hands.
Shoulder bite. Got
Nope.
you.
We have to slow you down somehow, Joey.
It's true. It's
Joey, I think you should put both her hands and some knees in there. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know how you would do it with that pose, but
Hand, you know, here we go. You get a hand in here pretty easily. Just like reaching out.
watch him be like, yeah, that's no problem. Here's
Yeah.
mine.
I don't think there's
It's the
ever been a
wrist.
drink and draw or something I've been on with Joey where he was like, no, I can't do that or I don't know how to do that. He's like, yeah, I can do that. I'm just like, how though?
I know he can do it. I was just trying to think, like, you know, would it really slow him down at all or not?
So you have to color everything. Full detail.
full render.
I think Joey needs like
Specifically
handicap.
3D render. Has to be a full 3D. You don't know.
I gotta
you don't know
open
how to.
ZBrush and sculpt it.
Yeah, no, you have to go through it. No, you have to do it in a program you've never touched before, so you have to learn at the same time.
Here's a free program we're going to have you download that you've never seen before, and go. Oh, okay.
That actually would be fun sometime.
Cat, what are you doing?
Nope, don't like it.
I just hear crashing. Okay. Also, I've read this sentence a couple of times and none of it is getting into my brain. Ling dragon doing complex yoga. You just make my brain hurt. I don't even know if I could draw a yoga pose right now. Let's be real.
What is
Downward
Ling?
dog.
Is
I don't know.
Ling Dragon a thing?
Talshi, educate us. What is Ling dragon?
Feels like it should be a thing that we're all gonna go, oh, right.
I'm sure it is. It's not the Dragon Ball Z dragon, is it?
No,
Does that have a
that's,
It's Shenron or
Shenron,
Purunga,
yeah.
depending
Okay.
on. So, can I share a funny story about that?
Yes, always.
So, for those that don't know, I teach college level like animation, video editing, motion graphics. And the other day, I'm in class. I show up early to set everything up, and then one of my students comes in, and they're like, "Hey, you know, I'm early, but I want to get your opinion on something I'm doing for another class, and it's a 3-point perspective." And she's like, "So, I want to do something reminiscent of like retro anime style backgrounds." And she shows me a bunch of these. It's a video that's a bunch of clips. It's like a clip show of a bunch of retro anime. And she's like, "So these are the kind of things I'm taking as inspiration. Like these are all really old." And they're, I kid you not, it's Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Escaflowne, Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star. She's just going through Toonami, pretty much. And I'm looking at this, like, when you said retro, I'm thinking Akira or Astro Boy or, you know, Planet 9, something.
Did you just start weeping?
Or even like the OG Voltron, like the 80s
Right.
look that had a specific vibe.
Nope.
No.
And she's just showing me, and I can pick out. And so I start naming them, and she's like, "How do you know this?" I'm like, "Well, I watched these. These were on when I was in like high school and college." And she was like, "These came out, and this video is from 2002. I wasn't even born yet." I was like, "Oh, you get an F for this semester."
Oh God, it hurts. It's
So one of the things that came up with that was like in one of the clips I was like, "Oh, that's Shenron." And she's like, that's the Dragon Ball from Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, "Yeah, his name is Shenron."
it has
She's
a
like,
name.
"How do you?" One of the other students is like, "How did you know that?" And I'm like, "Because I watched it." He's like,
I was
"How?
there.
You're an adult."
I was
Don't-
there.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
cite the old magic to me, witch.
I was there.
I was there, and it was written.
Oh my God. I love it so much.
So, yeah, knowing apparently the names of both dragons from Dragon Ball Z, Shenron and Purunga, like broke their brains. Because you're like, how would you know that?
Yeah.
You're a teacher, you're an adult. Adults don't watch anime, and it's like, okay.
Oh, but I did.
But
Oh,
I did.
But I still do.
But I like it.
Yep.
Do they know what you teach? Like,
Well, that's just it, right? Oh, and to make completely separate but still on the same topic. So obviously for video editing, I use a lot of examples from movies. Like here's good editing, here's bad editing, here's, you know, shot, reverse shot, continuum of movement, all that fun jazz. And I'm constantly pulling up movies, and I have like a whole set lesson plan. And for each year, less and less students have seen the movies I'm using as references.
No.
And it hurts. Like none of them have seen The Matrix, which I just use for like a good color grading example. Like, oh, when you're in it, it's green. When you're out of it, it's blue. It's a really good like baby's first intro to color grading. And
right.
none of them have seen it. None of them have seen The Sixth Sense, which is just a really good example of using the color red to guide the viewer's eye. Like, it's not that these are great movies; they're just really good cookie cutter
Absolutely
examples. And None of them have seen them. Mad Max Fury Road I used for like center of camera movement.
Stop. That just
None of
came
them have even
out.
seen that.
It just came out.
It
It
came out
hurts.
longer ago than you think.
No.
It came out last year, right? Just came out last year.
It's like 3 years ago. Nothing big. It was recent.
3 years ago was like 6 months ago. Shh, quiet.
Did you guys?
Quiet.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm
I
done.
was just thinking The Matrix came up, and I was like, did you ever see the interview that Keanu Reeves gave where he was talking to his friends' kids about The Matrix? Did you guys see this?
No. Are you about to make me really sad? Am I gonna
I'm
be
not sure.
Am
I'm
I
not
gonna
sure
turn
either.
into the sad Keanu meme right now?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but so like the kids hadn't seen it before, and they were like, like 14 to 17, and he was trying to explain the concept of the movie to them, and I'm probably paraphrasing this poorly, but he was basically like, so, this guy, he doesn't know if the world is real or not, so he's taking a pill, blah, 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 blah. And the whole point is to try and figure out what's real and what's not. And the youngest girl was like, well, who cares? Right? And he was like, that doesn't bother you? Like, what? And she's like, no, not really. And yeah, you guys should look it up. It's kind of, he tells it much better for obvious reasons because he was there and he's Keanu Reeves. But yeah, it was very startling to hear him tell this story because I was like, no.
Oh my god.
I'm officially old.
Also, like, okay, and I know it's funny coming from me because again, I have missed some quintessential classics that should have been fundamental to my cultural zeitgeist. But like I feel like The Matrix was revolutionary. And not just because one of them was Matrix Revolutions, but like it
Got him.
It should be in.
It should be something that you like your parents then showed you because it was a big movie in their time. Like, okay, you don't have to watch the other ones, but I'm having a lot of feels right now.
Color film.
Yeah, they broadcast that in full color.
In full Technicolor.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen the first color movie before. I don't. Was
It should be at least in the common like the cultural osmosis. You should be able to know The Matrix.
That's true.
Okay.
They do show it like in everything.
Yeah, it's referenced in everything.
They
Okay.
refer to it.
Tell she's making me feel a little bit better. Said they're 20 and they know Miss Frizzle, but they've watched The Matrix. So thank you. I appreciate that. I needed that. So Sergeant Snoodles had said, I said, I feel like Miss Frizzle in my new shirt. And the waitstaff just goes, who? Which is one, upsetting because there's literally a reboot that is currently like around in the zeitgeist. Also, I have the Miss Frizzle dress and I love it. It's fine. Okay, so going back to the dragons.
Oh, right. We had a thing.
Oh, hi, Kat. Hello. I'm going to read a thing. Okay, you can say hi, but then you have to go. So it is the lung dragon, and it is Asian-style dragon with a long serpentine body, no wings, and 4 to 6 legs, most often 4. Possesses flight despite having no wings. I like that. Oh, it's fine, Kat.
Yeah, it's like Falcor.
Oh, okay. Okay, so speaking of things we haven't seen, I've never seen that.
You've never seen
I
the Neverending
know.
Story to have your humanity smashed?
No, the first time I ever encountered Atreyu was the heavy metal screamo band and not the
Nice.
horse. Bring it back around. Yeah. It's fine. No, that was never one. I remember renting and watching the Ewok movies a whole bunch, but somehow managed to miss the Never-Ending Story.
As you do.
I feel like the Never-Ending, and maybe this is just me because I saw them all at the same time, but I feel like someone needs to come up with a box set of Never-Ending Story, Labyrinth, and like Legend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, and like those 3 high epic fantasy sort of movies really defined that whole. It might have been I don't know, someone should date check, but it could be something where like, oh, We have 2 movies based on a comet hitting the Earth. We have 2 movies based on a giant like flood. We have 2 movies based on a fish city underwater. Like, you know how movies kind of come in doubles like that.
These movies all have puppets. Why not?
Just like the Gungans and their amazing city.
Hey, the Gungans were super technologically advanced.
They were. They got a bad
They got
shake.
a bad rap because
They really did. Oh, Telshi, I might steal that for an actual full episode. Miss Frizzle's magic trip goes wrong because I love me some Miss Frizzle. I currently have 2 Miss Frizzle stickers in my Etsy shop. I love her.
She's like in the alien hive with the flamethrower duct taped to the pulse rifle.
Oh my gosh, can we just put Miss Frizzle and her kids into different pop culture movies? I love it.
I think it works. Like
It absolutely does.
Miss Frizzle works in everything.
Immediately go to like Miss Frizzle with like the kids turned into fish for like Finding Nemo or something.
Or I was gonna say, the miraculous Mr. Whippet? What was that weird movie with Don Knotts?
yeah, it was something like that. Now it's the miraculous Miss Frizzle.
Mrs. Maisel. I'm just doing word association now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a skin tight crop top. Okay.
Okay, Voice of Hunter. I have taken your prompt and I am giving you Lego crossed with Parade, but it is the Black Parade. So this is Lego My Chemical Romance is what I'm deciding to do.
Be a hero, son. How's that do? Something like that. The kid's probably just there like, man, I just wanted to like catch some candy, Dad. Like, why? Why all
though?
this?
Why though?
So much responsibility.
I'm 8.
Aw. Search and Student says I would buy Lego Black Parade as a sticker. Thank you. It's so fun. Also, that song is a fucking bop. I love it so much. There's never a time where I'm not excited to hear it. Oh, Telshi, thank you. Save your
She's
work.
got her hand down.
Don't
That
tell me what
means
to do.
Also means drink.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna be real drunk, y'all. Real drunk.
That's a work now.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, that's right. That's me.
Us doing this. So the key to drying hands, kids, is to hide as much of it as possible. To fool the audience into thinking you have drawn a hand when actually you have not. That's my tip for this stream.
I can't even remember what else's dress looks like.
Blue.
Sparkly.
Well, like which one though, right? There's a bunch.
Yeah,
There are.
and then
I'm
she
gonna
has the
do.
sequel dresses. Like,
I'm gonna do Frozen 2's dress because,
yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
and also because I'm a sucker for arm wraps, and then we can get some flowiness in here.
Get it. Love it.
I want to make Thirst Trap also.
I am absolutely here for that.
Thirst trap, gender bent, skin tight crop
Top else. Hey man, now that we said it, I can put all of those things in the hashtags for this video.
Oh man.
Hey, you guys are coming up with the prompts. I'm just following directions. I don't condone the exploitation of, crop tops.
I do.
What does her thing look like? I guess I have to type in Frozen 2, don't I?
As upset as I was about crop tops making a return, which, hey, whatever. You can wear them or not wear them. I am actually upset about low-rise jeans threatening to come back. I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here with that. No. Bad.
You know what I appreciate, though, is that you can wear... They still are making jeans of other rises. So it's not like
Yes.
everything is low rise and you no longer have any other options, which is what I
Yes.
felt like it was when we were kids. It was like, here's the style that's in, and you have no other options
It exactly was that. Yeah.
unless you want mom jeans.
Rich, not a mom, but I get closer to those. I'm like, I understand. There is a comfort to these, and they have really big pockets. I get it.
I have a pair of really hideous mom jeans, and they are really unattractive, but they're so comfortable, and so I'm taking advantage of it because they're in style. I get compliments from young people all the time on them. All my friends think they're hideous, so it's a bit conflicting.
Has to be on the outside of the hand.
A lot more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, you can pull my skinny jeans and my jeggings from my cold dead hands because they are comfortable and I like them and I'm not giving them back. Aw, Sergeant Schnoodles, that's poetic. Says, a sexy trash bag, drifting through the wind, waiting to start again. I know it's not quite a haiku, but it's close. I like it.
Right down to the bone, like a skinned chicken wing.
All right, there you go, voice of Hunter. When I was a young toy, I did Lego and Black Parade. He's so emo. Look at him. Look at his little face. Aw, it's Katy Perry? Yay. Okay, now, once again, I've come to the point where I have to draw a new prompt and I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Till she says, oh, you want to see my sad poems? You don't get a choice. Oh, I love it so much. Okay. All right. I'm going to save. Oh, that hair swoop is everything, Kia. I love it.
Give me a good 90s hair swoop any day, man.
Yeah.
I watched the Turning Red new Pixar movie, and the amount of just like because it's supposed to take place in like 2002, I think, and the amount of like 90s, early 2000s hair swoops in the male characters, the like few ones that there are, but like, whoo, got my heart. Oh, immediately I'm thinking of like, your little high school crush you always had. That's just me, but
great.
That like floppy hair that they had.
Pretty much, if you had a hairstyle that was seen in the children on Home Improvement, I was gonna be down for it.
Thank you. You got it. You nailed it.
JTP. That's really all it needed.
That's all it needed, and I was sold.
All you had to do was say like which Home Improvement boy you liked the most, and people are like, they know whether you can be their friend or not.
Yep. Oh gosh. Okay. Going back into the prompts. Let's see. Y'all, chat, you were super funny tonight. Thank you so much. You killed it. We love you.
Some loose hairs coming off here. I hear some whistlies. Some microphone whistlies.
Microphone whistlies. It's probably mine because it's possessed. So I don't know. I need to do
the time has come.
I wasn't hearing the whistlies, so it might be mine.
Yeah.
We should figure out a way to narrow it
could
down.
just be hearing.
I would love to know if it was mine.
Okay, well here, hang on. I'll mute. Joey, listen.
I don't know if the rest of us should be quiet or not.
Did it go away?
I still hear it, so maybe it's feedback in my headset.
In my head.
Ooh.
In my
Maybe.
head.
Maybe it's just that I've had too many drinks.
Does anyone else hear the whistle?
No, but
No.
I'm very deaf, so that's not a great frame.
I'm not deaf, but I am drunk. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, Tal, I really no, I can't do the Miss Frizzle one because I want to save it for an actual full episode. So okay, I gotta go back. We have to go back. Oh, the maracas. I gotta bring back the maracas.
It's maraca time.
It is maraca time. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, I have to do sultry. Not good at sultry.
Think sexy. Aw, think Randall sexy face.
Ugh.
I guess thirst trap Instagram Randall. How's that? That's probably better.
Oh, yeah. I'll look up. I'll look up Randall Instagram. That'll help. There we go.
Two or more beings for whom time has no meaning. Their kiss lasts an eternity, forming the horizon. Whoa.
Is that a prompt?
It is, yeah.
I don't even know. Two more beings from testing. All I can picture is the kiss scene from Watchmen with the atomic bomb going off in the back. Guardian Randy says, "How dare you ew me?"
I didn't know you were here. I wouldn't have viewed you.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm sorry. Our friendship is over. That's like the equivalent of like talking about someone and they're like in the table sitting behind you at the restaurant.
Oh my
Except I'm
god.
not really because I should.
Oh, it's so good. Oh no. I had a prompt and now I don't remember what it was. I read it and then I forgot it.
That was maracas.
Oh, it was maracas. Thank you. Jeez.
I don't like these sad eyebrows. I'm changing them.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
She's not sad. She's reveling
My
in her
God.
zombiehood.
Oh my
She's strong and powerful.
Shame. They're tears of shame. Sorry.
Oh. There we go. Talshi, you have to give us more information. We are far too drunk. Yeah, you're far too drunk to know these things just outright. Okay. Oh no, I have an idea, but I don't think I'm sober enough to draw it.
Oh crap! I lost my stylus. I don't know where it went.
No.
Just have to draw with your mouse for the rest of the night.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
How funny would that? Hold on, let me see if I could even do that.
Oh.
It's still,
There's
it
this-
boggles
look at that
my
smolder.
fucking mind. Having
Oh, that's a
whole
smolder, you
Spider-Man print that he has on his mouse.
No, I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. No.
How's that for a smolder? That's pretty
That's
good,
sexy.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you broke
Reminds
my
me of my
folder.
high school sketches. So lopsided. I found my stylus. We're gonna do it right.
Let's get some.
Uh,
Make these eyes look
I should not be
goopy.
drinking this.
okay, I want you to know, Sergeant Schnoodles, this is completely just design over actual functionality or anything. It's just the image I have in my head. So that's what you're getting with these. I can't explain it. It's just what you're getting. No,
can't.
Tal, you are great. We are just drunk and dumb.
All right. Let's see.
You just require me to Google things. Oh, cup of noodle. Those Yahtzee cups.
Cup of
I love all
noodle.
this.
Now I want ramen.
Right? I should have eaten more before I started drinking.
I have a
Oh
pizza.
yeah, I didn't eat dinner yet. It was probably not my best decision today.
I made sure to eat. I kind of knew it was coming.
I had some
I
food, but it was
Thought
not
about
enough.
it, and then I was like, I forgot.
They're not cup of noodle. They are not Yahtzee cups. They are skulls that are also cups that are shaking dice. Like I said, I don't know why, but you said unconventional. And this is what I have for you.
Nice. Got him.
They're rolling snake eyes. Well, well, well. What have we here? Santa Claus.
Ooh.
I'm really scared.
I'll
So
admit
you're
I
the
don't
one
know
everyone's
idea
been
where this
talking
conversation is
about.
going.
That's okay. No, there is no destination. It is the journey that we are reveling in. Oh, I support you, Talshi. Says, my mom told me to make smart choices with what I eat for dinner, so I'm making pizza. Hey man,
Nice.
if you put like peppers on it, it's vegetarian
Yeah, it's
pizza,
got
and you
vegetables on it.
exactly, it's vegetables.
You know, you get all 5 food groups with the right pizza.
Thank you, Megan. Yes, Oogie Boogie reference. I've realized that if I ever do karaoke, I want to do Oogie Boogie song because it's just like ridiculous enough that my my bad singing would be covered by the silliness. So
Oh, crap. I don't know what I did. Okay, that's fine.
Santa Claus. Ooh, I'm really scared. He's ancient. He's ugly. I can't believe my eyes.
Does that fit Hebe's like Merry Christmas prompt then? If you're doing,
I think it does.
which brings up the obvious question of who finds Nightmare Before Christmas to be Halloween versus a Christmas movie.
I think you can do both.
Debates.
Yeah, I enjoy Nightmare Before Christmas because if you go off of the grove of trees that Jack encounters, there are many holidays shown there, and you can watch it at any point. Also, it's the Nightmare Before Christmas, and it does not specifically specify which amount of time is before Christmas. So I just watch it a lot, and I'm happy.
I think of it as a Halloween movie.
Sure. My Halloween movie
That's
watch.
that's mostly
so
because there's a
thick.
very limited number of Halloween movies available,
This is true.
and there are so many Christmas movies.
You could watch 2 Christmas movies every day in December and still not make it through all of them.
Right. So
Is that like a statistical
Thanks,
fact?
Hallmark.
Because I believe it.
Oh, I watched some terrible Hallmark Christmas movies this year because I was in a weird place.
there were some really bad ones this year.
There's some really bad ones. Megan C. Creates throws out Tim Burton characters as pets. I would have Zero as a pet in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He is the goodest boy. I love him.
Okay, I think my heavy metal alpha is crying out to be finished.
I love her. Oh my gosh, she's got the nose piercing, which I know the upper bridge of the nose has a name, but I definitely don't know it. I
don't know it.
oh my
either.
god,
I've
I
just seen it on
love
some
it.
people and think it looks kind of fun.
I think it's just a bridge piercing, right?
Is it just bridge? Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh. You killed it. Also, the skull on her shirt is perfect.
Oh, thank you. There.
Also, tell
Great.
she says save. Thank you.
Oh crap! I
Shit.
forgot to make it heavy metal. Ah, dang it! It's supposed to be a heavy metal male Elsa in a crop top.
I mean, he's metal bending, so I think that got us the literal.
I
interpretation.
assumed it was just like the literal metal, not heavy metal and metal bending and
Yeah.
crop top and.
Good. I can
Yeah.
escape that.
I think you're good.
I need a bigger, softer brush.
I need more wine because I'm out. I should have
Because
just brought the
now
bottle with me, but I didn't.
It's time to tint, baby.
Speaking of pet things, I have to go find my cat real quick.
Oh boy, this cat.
Cats are such a pain.
Some blue. Get a little of those baby blues in there still.
Okay, I don't know if it's been answered yet already, but Telshi asks, does Kia play Genshin Impact?
I do not, but I highly respect how absolutely gorgeous the art is, because I see it all the time, and I also go to a lot of anime conventions, and every time there's a cosplayer, and I'm like, oh my god, that cosplay is amazing. What is that from? It's always Genshin Impact. So I don't know anything about the gameplay other than the art is stunning.
Also, Tal, I'll throw out to you. Kia is an incredible cosplayer and has gorgeous costumes. So if you want to check out her Instagram, she has beautiful stuff on there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I go to a lot of conventions for like volunteer work. We do a lot of like seminars and panels at conventions. So yeah, if you're ever at a convention, you can always kind of look me up. We're usually giving 3D printing or cosplay panels of some sort.
Yeah. Are you still, I mean, I know we mentioned earlier that you were completely swamped with everything. Are you still doing some of your 3D printing, or has that have to take a pause from everything else?
So the 3D printing for like as a commission basis has completely stopped. I just don't have time anymore to take on any like 3D printing commissions. I'll sometimes like 3D print stuff for myself, and we do give plenty of 3D printing like panels and talks. So I'm still involved in the community, and definitely like help out friends if they need a model fixed, because while I might not do the printing myself, I still know the 3D modeling side of things, so I can help there. But yeah, as a commission, I don't have time anymore. Everything else is kind of way too much. Not to get into it, you know, but I'm like working 2 jobs now, and it's just, oof, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. At some
So,
point, Kia has to sleep. That is important.
Yeah. I'm really sad because the 3D printing was taking off really nicely, and it was kind of a really good business venture. And like on YouTube, it's still making pretty good money, but just, yeah, unfortunately, that's how things go. So sometimes you got to put one thing down when you pick other things up. And that's what I had to put down.
Well, and I think as things progress and as we move into whatever new phase comes after this pandemic and how we adapt from there, I think there will be different opportunities. And as you finish projects that you are working on, ways to get back into that.
I hope so. Because it was something that was really nice to be part of when it was brand new. But obviously, a lot of people are now kind of getting into 3D printing, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like with the animation background that you have and the amount of 3D that you were good at, like that was just such a fantastic foundation to build off of.
Between getting into cosplay and then already knowing 3D, and back then when I got into 3D printing, there wasn't like as many resources like Thingiverse or anything where you could download existing models. So knowing how to model what I wanted on my own was like perfect. It was a very natural progression from doing 3D work and cosplay to like, oh, here's this technology where I need a prop. I can literally just make that prop. So, but yeah, most of the panels that we give talks at now are about how to either get into 3D or if you're commissioning someone or something. So the industry is constantly changing for the 3D printing, but it's good. I feel like I should have had a conclusion to that topic, but I'm sorry. I'm a little like...
No, you're good. You're good. It is, I mean, it's one of those where I feel like logically I understand that the resources are out there, but hearing it from somebody that I personally know saying like, yeah, we do these talks here, there are these options available, like it makes it that much more tangible for me. If it was something I wanted to get into, I could find it and I wouldn't feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah, there is so much resource into, I don't want to say it's like been made very pedestrian, but it honestly kind of has, where in the, and I could talk about 3D printing forever, in like the early days of 3D printing, I'm talking like in 2005 to 2010 when it was first being introduced to as a commercial venture. Like the only people that could really get into it were you had to already know 3D modeling or at least have someone in your pocket that did. But now there's just libraries of 3D models. And the same thing with the printers. Like back then there was very few commercial printers anyone could afford. And now it's like, oh, you can go to Staples and buy a 3D printer. So yeah, it's going to become one of those things where everyone has an at-home paper printer. Everyone's going to eventually have an at-home 3D printer.
It's kind of cool, though.
It'd be neat for like, if you were to buy there's like a whole discourse about this, but you buy something and instead of it coming with all the tools, like say it's a piece of furniture or like an appliance, instead of it coming with all the tools in the box, it comes with files that you need to download to 3D print the pieces yourself.
Interesting.
Like that's one of the things that people are talking about a lot, that 3D printing will eventually become. Anyway, like I said, I can talk about it forever. And I probably should do it when I'm not as tipsy.
I like it, though. This was the level at which I was able to follow along, because I will say I have not gotten into any type of 3D printing other than being appreciative of the cool stuff that you can make. So it's fun.
I can barely focus on what I'm drawing.
Yeah. Chat, I'm going to give you a warning. We have probably about 20 more minutes that you're going to get out of these artists, and then we are going to call it for the stream. So if you have questions,
hey, Hunter, are we streaming after this?
Yeah, we gotta figure out. There's a whole bunch of amazing artists and fun people streaming, so we might raid into somebody. But yeah, we're gonna give our artists a break and
I mean, personally, I could keep going. I feel like one of those where you don't notice you're tired.
Well, I have hit the perfect level of drunkenness where I can hyper focus on things. So yeah, I'm in the same like, no, I could keep doing this, but I'm also looking at the time. I'm like, you should eat something else. And
Yeah, I was gonna say I wasn't feeling hungry until we talked about it. Now I'm like feeling hungry.
I'm seriously thinking about the leftover piece of pizza I have in my fridge.
Nope, we die like men on this ship.
But chat, if you enjoy these types of shows, not just the drinking part, but if you enjoyed the random prompt part, let us know. Hit us up at Doodle Crew Draw across the internet. Throw us some prompts that you'd like to see. We're always looking for fun new things that you guys would enjoy us drawing and different things that we could bring. So yeah, if you have fun things you'd like.
Excuse me.
Definitely gave him spider hands. Just why?
Thank you so much, Tal. Your suggestions were great. Let me check out your.
Why did I give you spider?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, he has spider hands. That's fine.
Tal, I love it. That's so fun. I also like that we both went with kind of a like arching petal thing. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out.
Looking up corgi references. I'm gonna do something with corgi.
It's a great way to spend a day.
Yeah. Oh my god, they're so cute.
They're so cute. I can't with their little faces.
The little butts.
Oh,
They
my
don't seem
God.
like they should exist.
No, they really don't.
They're too good for this world.
Also true.
Well, more so they look like real, like plushes came to life.
Yeah.
They do.
So it's almost like, no, you're not real. You are something that we invented and then gave life to.
Also,
I like
Joey,
the ones that are laying down and their legs are out.
the colors on your zombie look so good.
It's not easy being green.
I'm impressed too because you can tell it's Elsa, but she's so super zombified. Like it just, once again, I hate you, but your art is amazing.
I'm glad it reads, like, because I'm too gone to tell.
I'm working on pure instinct at this point.
Of course.
And someday, chat, y'all will have to join us for an actual Comic-Con with an actual drink and draw. And then you can get drunk with us in person.
Ooh, are those things?
Someday.
Remember those from the before times.
I have such fond memories.
From the before times. I have such fun memories from the before times.
And it's such a weird, like, simultaneously feeling like it's been such a long time since the before times, and yet, like, no, it hasn't been that long. Like, I can't reconcile how time moves.
I don't feel that way. I definitely feel the passage of the time. I am most definitely aware of the fact that, like, wow, I should have gotten more done during quarantine when, we're home and there's projects to do. Why didn't I do those projects?
I feel that way too.
Well,
but then I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I
the
didn't
world
do
is
anything. I
ending,
should have
so
gotten so much done. I was just like, nah,
I will
bro,
throw
can play
out to
video
you
games
that
all day, every day.
that this was incredibly stressful and that is incredibly detrimental to the artistic process, and that all of y'all survived this insanity and have still continued to create art. So that is a win, even if it doesn't feel like it.
I appreciate you saying that, but my brain doesn't believe you.
No, but I keep saying things at my brain because I'm going to train it to believe these things at some point, and I'm going to speak positively to it that we are going to celebrate the victories that we've had, because boy, there's been a lot of not victory in the last 2 years. So, but I am grateful for Doodle Crew. Doodle Crew wouldn't have happened had I not been stuck at home figuring things out and missing human art connection. So
Amen to that.
I am very grateful for that.
I am also grateful. I just realized I was muted.
Oh,
Sorry, my
That's
cats
really
were
good. That's not the
being
color I
dickheads when
want.
I was yelling at them when you guys were having heartfelt conversations. No, it's nice to tell your friends the things you try to tell yourself every day to make yourself feel better.
yes. Yes, I have accepted that I am very, very good at squashing negative commentary on my amazing friends. Not great at doing it to myself, but we're working on it. We are baby stepping it. It is all a process. So
No.
you know what?
Fucked
Also,
up on
I'm
this
making
hand.
the decision to not look up the different sides of dice to figure out which numbers would be with them, and they're just going to be snake eyes, and that's where they're going to live.
The 6 is opposite of the 1.
Okay, well then you're not going to see any 6s in this, and that's as much as I'm going to do.
I really want to do like Zombie Slayer Anna now. Damn this drunkenness.
Power through. Do it anyway.
I also enjoy that when we send these to Nicole, she's going to be like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it is fine. It made sense.
You weren't there. You can't judge.
Oh, Voice of Hunter, hydrate yourself. You got it, my dude.
I mean, it's like you're trying to get us drunk.
Also, I'm going from sips to like full gulps.
See, I have worked in the opposite way. I was gulping at the start because I wasn't thinking about it, and now I'm like, gentle
Coward.
Nice for me. I don't have to be anywhere in human until 9 tomorrow morning. So, yeah.
PM, right? 9 p.m.?
9 p.m. Oh my gosh, I have so much to do tomorrow. It's fine. And Dice, opposite side of what number you're looking at? Oh, is it wow. Okay, so Hunter, I understand that was a very logical statement that makes sense, but my drunk brain is just like, I can't with that right now. So I appreciate you. I don't understand you. I'm gonna keep drawing my Dia de los Muertos maracas.
I'm having a hard time concentrating. Like focusing my eyes.
Yes. Yeah, I would say we've got about I think it's 10-minute warning at this point. I did not set a timer, so
I'm not done yet.
that's okay.
10 minutes, all right. Baby
I'm not
metal
done yet.
Anna, 10 minutes. Let's do it.
Well, I'm definitely not going to get very far on this in 10 minutes, but I will finish it.
Oh, but it's already looking super cute.
Oh, that's too big a brush.
Oh.
What does Anna do? She has 2. She's got 2.
I like the just very simple, like, cartoon face that you have right now that just looks real mad about it. Just like, ugh. Like the little mouth just very put out about it. It's making me laugh.
She's metal, so she can't smile.
It's true. There's no smiling in heavy metal.
Or baseball.
Once again, my statement at the top of the stream was, I don't want to do color because I want to focus on my line art. And I'm getting here, I'm like, the Dia de los Muertos skulls need color.
Yeah, you really need it. You need that sugar skull color.
You do, because they have the most wonderful colors.
No choice, good you gotta.
Sober Emily and drunk Emily do not operate on the same level.
That's not the right thing. There we go.
Oh, Sergeant Snoodles, that gif is so cute. I guess it's not a gif in Twitch, but I don't know how... The moving Pikachu is adorable and makes me happy.
Dice. They sure are. They sure are a crazy thing. Let's see, baby metal. They throw up the horns. That's like their thing. They show how metal they are.
You gotta, and then you gotta do the 2 hands together because it's too much rock for one hand.
Fuck, you're right.
I just want you to draw both hands.
Then this braid has to go away.
Okay, can I say though, like, in a sixth sense, I really love drawing braids. I do. They're so silly, but I love them.
This is some Naruto ass hand sign shit. What the fuck? What are these Korean metal bands doing?
Oh God, I love it so much.
Big poof.
She has to be
Smaller
doing the
poof.
heart thing. Is that not heavy metal? Like you do like the little... It's a heart.
The heart,
With your fingers.
like
Like
this.
that.
I mean, they have the ones where, like, you contort your fingers in a way that it spells out blood. I remember that one from college.
No, I just do like Korean like hand signals that they do. It's just like a little... It is not metal at all. It's like a love and fifty thing, I think.
I was
Are you
gonna
talking
say,
about the little heart thing, like
That's some
like
head
that?
Yeah,
poofies.
No, yeah, just like you have 2 fingers. Like
yeah,
this.
the little green heart.
oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh.
learned that from watching K-dramas.
okay. Apparently that's Japanese. I can't.
Oh,
My
Japanese.
My heart looks funny.
I'm so glad to know that, actually, because I was feeling very ignorant. I just
Uh,
seen it in several places, and I was like, that's so cute.
Yeah. No, 1000%. Sergeant Schnoodles laugh at us.
Oh,
because we
baby
are
metal
ridiculous.
is Japanese. Okay, so not the heart thing.
Oh.
Oh,
The heart
okay,
is
I
okay.
was
like
pretty sure the
Korean.
heart thing was Korean.
That
Okay.
legit does make me feel better because I
Big.
really thought it was Korean.
Buckles.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for setting us straight. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
I have a conspiracy theory that they're all waiting to do the drink thing at the end of the stream.
Oh my god. You're right.
Oh God.
All of them are going to cash in at once.
Well, because they've built up their channel points for the entirety of the stream, and now they can they can cash in on us. Thank
They
you.
have a separate chat in a Discord somewhere just to like,
Like, oh yeah, we're gonna get them.
Got him.
coordinate the attack. Or we're getting paranoid. You know, it could be either.
Both. Why not? Voice of Hunter redeemed. Hydrate yourself.
Damn it, you bastard!
Wait, twice!
Oh shit! Yeah, Sergeant Snoodles got us too. I just want you to know that if I drink, if I drink this whole thing, that will be more than a bottle of wine that I have drank. I do this for you. I do this for you, chat.
I don't even know how much I have left. I think this might be the end of my bottle. It is. The end of my bottle. My screw top bottle.
Oh fuck!
They're called Stelvin closures.
Screw top bottles?
Yeah. It's a specific manufacturer type of screw top, because if you do not need it to have a cork to age to get the aeration of it in it, you can use a screw top. Fun fact.
I will process that information tomorrow. Thank you.
I thought it was just a marketing thing.
There is actual reason for it.
I thought it was just an easy access thing.
Also true. Why not both? Now I want tacos.
Oh man, I got myself a donut today, and it was the best decision I made all day.
I hate how much I love donuts. I truly, truly hate it.
Oh, what have I done?
Oh my god, look at her face! What a Vineyard Warrior. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Beautiful Stelvin.
Drew a lot more Frozen on the stream than I expected to.
Yeah, I gotta admit, the stream, not what I was expecting, and I kind of love it for that reason.
Cannot draw this line. It's gone. The ability to draw a curve has left me.
I missed 2 more drinks? Oh shit, I did. There's 2 more drinks. There's a Sergeant Snoodles and a Voice of Hunter.
Look, when I told that you guys were stocking them up, I was joking. That was hyperbole.
You gave them ideas.
You inspired them.
I don't know if hyperbole is the right word, but
Remember, Hunter,
I don't think that it is.
you're gonna lose games tonight.
that was a metaphysical response. I don't.
With every drunk, I take,
Drank.
Drinking.
it's another game you'll lose.
Is it just one?
It's 2. Yeah, also Sergeant Schnoodles, as your name gets more slurred the more this stream goes on, and I'm so sorry. She said it was too good of an idea. I gendered you, I'm sorry. They said. Oh goodness. It's too good.
I might have to call sexy crop top male metal bending Elsa because I feel like he is worth more than what I am able to produce at this time.
Okay, but you really nailed the smolder. Like, let's be real. He's got great smolder.
We're trying.
Oh,
We're
Voice of
trying.
Hunter. Redeemed a save. Oh, a saved work, not a drink. Or is that a drink? I
mean,
can't remember anymore.
Thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's just drink.
I don't deserve it.
Okay. All right. So let us, as we continue to finish our drinks, let us do some show and tell. So, out of this, who would like to go first?
I'm still working.
I can't find my layers.
She's like, they were here,
No.
but they're gone.
I feel like that needs to be a sticker. I can't find my layers.
They were just here, I swear.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
I don't know what's happening.
Stop this from happening.
Yeah, how are you doing with your post-surgery drink thing?
You know, not bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good.
Excellent.
Pretty good.
Vineyard Warrior, exactly. What layers?
All right, let's do this. Where are
All
we
right,
at?
Joey, are you ready?
Sure am.
Let's
Let me
do it.
get my dumb face off of here.
No, I like your face.
Yeah, but you can't see all that.
Oh my gosh, you gave her a skirt. Look at her double devil horns.
That's, that's the last one.
I love it. Okay, but you killed it
that
with Zombie
thing-
Elsa.
I did. I hope it's
Oh.
gross enough. I feel like I could have added like a fly crawling across her eye or something.
Oh, that turned out so dope.
I gotta like close these ones to pop up the other ones though.
I know
So
it.
There's,
It's gonna
there's
be-
those two. And then,
Also, that Anna face. The Anna
goodbye.
face just kills me.
And then boop, 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 boop. We don't need to drink. Boop, boop.
Yes.
No, boop. No, get out of here. So I did the small head barbarian because we did multiple barbarian prompts.
We did.
I also incorporated Sergeant Schnoodle's banana hammock.
I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
the banana hammock prompt. God damn it.
Banana
Sorry.
hammock.
I looked at that.
And we got metal Elsa album cover.
Metal Wing Elsa is so good. Like, seriously, I need you to color it. I need it as a poster on my wall.
That'll be the one I finish for posting on the Doodle Crew. Look at what I did when I was drunk.
Heck yeah. Hey man, person who posted the prompt says they love it. So I think we win.
Okay.
Yes, Sergeant Snoodle says honestly it would be a great band tee. 1000%. No, those turned out fantastic. I love it. All right. Kia, do you want to go next?
Wait, sure. Yes. So this was my hold on. Layers or things.
Layers.
Hold on. Sorry, give me like a thing. Okay, we're good. Yes. So this was my first one when I was sober. And it was the prompt. I apologize. I don't remember who gave us the prompt for this one.
This was
I
Voice of Hunter.
Thank you. This is the prompt narwhal, space, and wine. So obviously I did a narwhal swimming in a wine glass full of space juice.
I love it.
And then I have the same person gave the prompt of a bunch of words, but the two words that I chose was Die Hard and then Ein from Cowboy Bebop, which is if you're not aware, the corgi from Cowboy Bebop. So this is Ein as John McClane climbing through the vents.
It's so good. Like I said, I need it as a sticker. I need to own it. I love it so much.
And last but not least, I was hoping to get more prompts done today, but I spent way too much time doing... Hold on, let me get this right. Sexy crop top male Elsa metal bending.
Yeah!
I think is...
Look at those arm sleeves. I love
encompassing this one. So, the final word here. There we go.
Successful.
So those were the ones that I did. I spent a little too much time doing the last one. Also, they get progressively more complex as I go through them, which kind of shows where my mentality goes when I'm drinking, I guess.
Yep.
I'm less afraid to take on the more challenging ones.
No, the background looks great. The smolder looks great. I love it. The pose is fantastic. It's so fun.
And eyeshadow, because Kim had us a lot of eyeshadow.
Yes. Yes. Work it. I love it.
So that is me. And this was my bottle of sangria, which was completely full when I started, and it is now empty.
Woo!
Good day. Good day.
All
Happy
right.
Thanksgiving.
All right, Laura, let's see. Let's see your amazing palette knife magic.
Okay. Well, no. So the first one I did, and I was still trying to remember what I was doing, but I was sober.
Happy little baby.
So, narwhal in space. I don't know if it's really focusing very well.
Yeah.
But,
I can
you're
see
good.
it.
You're good.
It looks good.
Maybe. I don't know if we can judge that.
I was going to say,
like,
we might not be the best judge.
Can I trust you guys?
It looks great to us.
It's fabulous.
Look, it's all amazing.
It's so good.
Heavy metal Elsa.
I love her.
I didn't see the skull on the t-shirt before. That's so good.
It's so good. Oh,
I'll
love her
take
so
some
much.
much better pictures of these later.
Yeah, I might need to offer you money to own that one because I kind of love it. I super love it.
Oh, I'm glad. And then I started on an alien Ein, but not
Look
finished.
at the happy boy.
He will be green and alien looking when I'm done, but for now he's just happy and has an antenna. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Those are wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think mine were, well, no, 2 of them were Voice of Hunter, and then I don't know who did Heavy Metal Elsa, but thank you.
That was Vineyard Warrior.
Vineyard Warrior, thank you.
Yes. He supplied us with I think almost that everyone, all 4 of us drew Heavy Metal Elsa. So
yes,
I love it.
All
right. Quick run through mine because I drew them all on the same canvas. We have my lovely cell phone barbarian who is struggling with technology. Look at me. So simple. Clean lines. I started so strong.
I love his underbite.
And then I drank wine. Then we have my Heavy Metal Elsa inspired by the heavy metal band Diamante. So yes, I enjoy her. And then I went to the plant that was a house that was big enough to support a large creature.
I want that as a sticker.
Like, it was just, I'm happy with this one. It was cute. It was fun. And then I did I did Lego Black Parade, which brings me more joy than it probably should. But it tickles me greatly. I enjoy it. So little My Chemical Romance. And then I finished with, I don't remember the exact prompt. Unexpected?
Unconventional.
I was like, it's an unword. Yes, unconventional maracas. So I have sugar skull dice shakers. Once again, I don't have answers for you. I just wanted to draw this. This is what was in my brain.
The dice give it so much movement. Like I can hear it clacking around.
Yeah,
maybe it's the wine, but I can hear it.
I can hear it. This was so much fun. Thank you, artists. Thank you, chat. If you want to follow us, we are at Doodle Crew Draw across the internet. Follow for all these amazing artists. Go to our link tree if you want to see more from this. But if you follow us, you'll get to see this art posted. We so appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your amazing prompts. Send us more prompts. We will do more art, probably sober when we do it, but not necessarily. So thank you all. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.